Hey, how's it going? My name's Dave, this is Custom Spray Mods, and in this video I'm going to go over metallics and pearls. Basically, what's a pearl? What's a 3-layer pearl? Why is my car so hard to touch up? Why is it so hard to paint? I'm going to go over that and more in this video. Check it out. Alrighty, so I'm about to explain a whole heap of things about metallics and pearls. It goes for about 5 minutes. Now, if you're interested in that, you can keep watching the video. But if you're here just to see, a bit of an instructional guide on how to fix a scratch on a 3-layer pearl or a white pearl or a colored pearl paint job, basically you can just skip forward about 5 or 6 minutes and you'll see I painted this panel, I repaired a fake scratch in there, put primer, I blended the color, blended the pearl, sprayed clear, all with aerosol cans. So just skip forward and you can see this panel actually came out really good. So yeah, check that video out. If you're here for the DIY vid, a bit more information, just keep watching. Okay, so what I've got here are a few different types of metallics, a few different types of pearls, and I'm just going to explain a little bit what the difference is between metallics and pearls. So metallics is metal. It's like metal flakes. It has a silver flaky look to it. Basically, it can come in basically just silver. So if you have a red metallic, it means you have red with silver in there, and the silver contains that metallic flaky look. So if you were to put a bit of metallic silver into red, well, it's going to make it look really washed out and silvery looking. Same with blue or white or black. It's going to have a bit of a silver look to it. Now, a pearl is like a metallic. It has a sparkly look to it, but a pearl has a color. So you can have a red pearl, a blue pearl, a green pearl, and it's not going to affect the color as much as what a silver metallic is, because you're adding that in and that color doesn't change too much. So I'll just show you the difference. Basically, I've got a silver metallic here. So this is just metallic and it's just silver. So it's basically just looks silver and it's very sparkly. So it's got metal flakes in it. Now this is a base coat paint. It needs to be clear coated on top. So that's a silver metallic. Now the more extreme version of that is a metal flake. Now I've got these metal flakes here. You can see the metal flake, it's very coarse, which means it's very thick, very big, large flakes. And these are so large that basically you need a bigger gun to spray these because they're so thick. And they need to be mixed into something to paint. So generally you mix these metallic flakes into a binder. Now this is a base coat binder and it's just clear base coat. You mix it in, then you put thinners and spray it on the job. That is a metal flake. Okay, so what I've got here are pearls, and now these are the old school type of pearls. They've been around for a long time, and this is a blue pearl, and here I've got a red pearl. So when you mix these into a color, it's not going to change it too much. It's going to change it a little bit, but it's going to give it a red sparkle. And if I add this blue pearl into a paint, it's going to give it a blue sparkle. And that's the difference between the pearls. Metallics are all silver, pearls are colors. Okay, so when it comes to pearl, you think, great, I want a blue pearl or a white pearl. I can just add that type of color, that pearl, into my paint. Well, some colors work like that and some don't. So darker colors react really well to pearls. If I put any type of pearl in a black paint, it's going to have a really nice pearly look. The pearl is going to be very easy to see, easy to notice. But if I put that same colored pearl into a white paint, well, the white just absorbs all that pearlescent look. Basically, when it's mixed into the white, you don't notice it. Same with red, yellow, greens, oranges, generally lighter colors tend to absorb the pearlescent look. So to get a pearlescent look in a lighter color, we need to spray the pearl on top of that color. So for example, I've got a white pearl here. Now this has, it's white and it's got like a silvery, white, flaky look to it, and that's the pearl. Now if I just put the silver pearl into the white paint, you're not going to notice that pearl. It's not going to look flaky or sparkly at all. So what we tend to do is spray straight white first, and then spray only pearl, not mixed into anything, just spray that over the job, over the white, and that's going to give it that sparkly look. Now, what you might think is, why can't I just spray the pearl straight onto the job and then have a pearly finish? Well, the thing is, pearl is very transparent, which means it doesn't cover. So if I put a bit of pearl on here, basically, you'll be able to see straight through it. If I put a thin coat, like what would be sprayed, you can see straight through it. You can still see, the layer underneath. So if I just sprayed primer and then put a white pearl on top of that primer, well, you're basically going to be just seeing the primer color, gray or beige, and then it's going to have a white pearl on top. So that's why we can't just spray the pearl straight on. We need to spray a base layer first and the pearl on top. Now, the other problem we have with that is if a car from the factory has been painted in a white pearl, for example, well, when they painted that car, they sprayed white first and then they sprayed the pearl on top. Now, one layer of pearl is going to look different to 3 layers of pearl. So if they put 1 coat of pearl and then let that go, that's great. But they don't do that. They put maybe 3 coats of pearl over that white or over that base color. And that means you don't know how many they've put. Maybe if the car was built in Thailand, maybe they'll put 3 coats. If the car was built in South Africa, well, maybe they put 4 coats or 5 coats. You don't really know. Now, the paint code of that car, it's not going to change. It's all going to be the same. So if the paint code is ABC for the white painted here, that's got 3 layers of pearl, well, then the same code ABC that's got 4 layers of pearl, that's going to have the same paint code. But the 2 colors, well, they can look different. So that means when we paint a 3-layer pearl, we have to do some testing. Basically, spray out 3 cards of the white base, and then on the first card, put 1 coat. Second card, 2 coats, 3 coats, 4 coats, clear coat them all, and then see which one matches the best to the panel that you're painting. That way you know when you paint the job, well, this color needs 3 coats of pearl. And that is how we get a pearl finish that's going to look very similar to the factory paint. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to blend a pearl color. So basically I'll put a fake scratch in here and we're going to pretend to repair it. Firstly, when you're repairing a scratch, you need to sand the scratch completely out. So you can use 120 grit, then 240 grit. And if you're using spray cans like I'm going to, you're going to finish with 400 grit. Now I'm using a sanding sponge just to go around that area that I sanded. I'm going to be spraying primer over this repair, and I want to make sure the primer sticks to the other parts of the panel. Finally, I'm going over the whole panel with a grey Scotch-Brite and scuffing paste. This is going to dull the clear and allow my new clear coat to stick. It also cleans the panel and gets rid of any contamination that might be on there that may react with my paint. Now I've got myself a can of high build primer. Now this can go onto the repair and it's going to fill any low spots from that sanding. I'm going to spray 3 coats, waiting 10 minutes between coats. I'm going to give it 45 minutes to dry, and I'm going to come back and start sanding. Before I sand, I sprayed a guide coat, which is just basically black paint. Then I'm going to use 400 grit wet sandpaper and a block and sand all that guide coat off. Basically, when all the guide coat's gone, it means I've thoroughly sanded that primer. Now that's all done, I'm going to spray with guide coat again and then sand with 800 grit wet sandpaper and water. The 800 grit is just fine enough to not show up any scratches, but also help the new paint stick. Now I'm going to go over the panel one more time with the grey Scotch-Brite and water, just to smooth out any bits of the primer that may have landed on this part of the panel, and just clean it up and be super ready for my paint and clear coat. We're fully ready to paint now. First I'm going to spray and wipe off some wax and grease remover. This just gets rid of any further contamination that might interfere with the painting process. Now I've gone to VG Auto Paints and picked up my color. Now the paint code 070 White Crystal Pearl comes up with 2 different colors, a layer 1 and a layer 2. Layer 1 is just straight white, And layer 2 is basically just straight pearl color. Layer 3 is a clear coat, and you can choose whatever clear you want. Now I'm going to get some spray out cards and spray my layer 1 on a few of those cards. Once they're dry, then I'll get my layer 2 pearl and spray a few coats over each one. One card I'm going to spray 3 coats, and the other card I'll spray 4 coats. Then I'll put some clear coat on and check them to the panel. So the clear coat I'm using for this job is a 2K clear in a can. Basically it's got 2 parts in the can. You need to break the seal, which mixes the hardener and the clear together and makes it a 2K solvent resistant clear. It also dries super glossy and it's just like the factory finish of a car. So I'm going to use that on this job because it's really good. Now I'm going to hold up my cards to the panel and find one that matches the best. And in this particular case, the card with 3 coats of pearl matches really good, so that's the method I'm going to use for the job. I'm all ready to go, and I'm going to spray my ground coat layer 1, which is just straight white. I'm going to spray it over the repair and get a little bit further into the panel with each coat. I'm also using a blending motion as I get to the area that I want to blend that paint, just so it's a softer edge. Now it's time for the pearl coat layer 2. And I'm going to spray 3 coats over that ground coat. Again, using a blending motion as I get to the edge of that repaired area. This is just to make sure that the new paint blends into the old paint. As the pearl is transparent, you can adjust your spraying style to make sure it lays down nice and even. I'm going a little bit quicker and a little bit further away from the job to make sure those pearls land on the surface nice and flat. Now it's time for the clear coat. I've waited 10 minutes. Now I'm going to spray my clear coat. I'm using the 2K clear. I'm going to spray the edges first, and then I'm going to spray the face of the panel, making sure to have really good overlapping. It's just a small fan that's coming off that spray can, so I need to overlap quite a bit to make sure I get a nice even finish with the clear. As this is my first coat, you can see I'm going quite close to the panel and quite quick with my arm movement. Basically, this just makes sure that I'm nice and flowing, I'm not stalling, and I'm making sure that the paint is just going on nice and even, and this will minimize the chance of getting any paint runs. After 10 minutes, I'm spraying my second coat, then I'll wait another 10 minutes and spray my third coat. Basically getting a little bit slower with the arm speed with every layer of clear coat that I apply. This clear is really good. It works really well. I mean, the temperature is 18 degrees Celsius, which is really cold, and it laid down nice. I didn't really have any worry about runs, and it looks super glossy, and it has a really good finish to it. And as you can see, the repair is great. I can't see that primer. I can't see that blend area. The pearl looks the same from the front to the panel to the back. And, you know, I mean, if this was the job, then you could bolt this back on the car and off you go, or unmask it and the job's done. Well, there you go. We've gone over metallics, we've gone over pearls, 3-layer pearls, and why they're hard to paint. And then I got a panel, this panel over here, put a fake scratch in it, sanded it, primed it, and then sprayed the base layer, the pearl, and the clear coat, and it came out really good. So yeah, I mean, we've got all this stuff available at VG Auto Paints online or in store. You can order the cans, just send us your paint code and we'll send you the cans and clear, and you can get the job done yourself. I mean, like if you do this yourself, you're gonna save quite a bit of money. And if you're pretty handy and you know you've got a good space to do it, then the aerosol cans work really well. So check out all my other videos. I've got heaps of videos online. Check out our website, vgautopaints.com.au. All this stuff's available online or in the shop. If you come to the shop, you might see me there and you can say hello and have a chat. Otherwise, yeah, grab your cans, grab your clear, and give it a go. So thanks for watching. Really like making these videos and helping you guys, you know, get these projects done yourself. It's super rewarding when you do a job yourself, and I mean, you're looking at your car every day, so why not get that sense of pride and achievement doing a job well done yourself. And yeah, it's nothing wrong with giving it a go. So see you next time. It's Custom Spray Mods.